Even though Becky Lynch is not on WWE television, it did not stop the man from taking to social media and exposing CM Punk, putting this man on blast in front of the world. And in this video, we are going to be talking about what Becky Lynch did to CM Punk. Now, on the March 3rd episode of Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins, he went out there and cut a fiery promo about Seth Rollins continuing their feud and name dropping Becky Lynch because he told Becky to come get her man and send him his way. And that got fans talking. It was a great promo. Now, Becky Lynch, on the other hand, she was watching Monday Night Raw, and that does not mean just because she's away from the company, that doesn't mean that she is not watching the program, that she's not following along, because I've documented this pretty well here on the channel. Becky Lynch has not been seen on WWE television since May of 2024, and it's because she is pursuing Hollywood projects. This is something in which she's talked about. This is something in which Seth Rollins, her husband, has talked about. She reportedly, according to Fightful Select and others, has been under contract with WWE since late 2024. There was speculation that she would return to the company and make her grand return on the Raw on Netflix episode on January 6th. That had come and that has passed, and that did not happen. Then fans were like, okay, well, it has to be at the Royal Rumble, right? She has to be around for the man and for the man's big show in WrestleMania. In fact, Fightful has reported as recently as last week that, yes, WWE has discussed WrestleMania plans for Becky Lynch should she opt to come back. And that is yet to happen, obviously. She did not show up at Royal Rumble. She didn't show up at the Elimination Chamber. Now we're a little over a month away from WrestleMania. The belief is she'll be back in sometime in 2025. Maybe she gets involved in the program with Seth Rollins and CM Punk on WWE television instead of just on social media. So let's kick it off, y'all. So you got to keep in mind that Punk and Seth Rollins are in a feud. And after Punk told Becky to come get her man, this led to Becky Lynch taking to social media. She shared a side-by-side of CM Punk in the ring and Roxanne Perez in the ring at the Elimination Chamber this past Saturday night. They're both wearing dark attire. Okay? Punk has a black and dark red or dark purple, and Perez has a similar outfit. And Becky took this screenshot from a fan and captioned it with catching up on Raw. I don't think I'm the one that needs to come get my man. Now, she has since deleted that tweet, which is an absolute roaster of a tweet. What does that mean? Well, ever since CM Punk has returned to WWE in November of 2023 at Survivor Series, he has made countless trips to NXT. He has publicly talked about how he one day wants to run NXT. He wants to take over Shawn Michaels' job as head booker, head of creative, whatever you want to call it, right? Roxanne Perez was a top star down in NXT for the longest time. Multi-time women's champion down there. And Punk and Perez, as well as Cora Jade, they both look up to Punk and also look up to AJ Lee, also known as April Mendez, who is the real life wife of CM Punk. She was insinuating that Punk may be having some relations with Perez or has a very weird relationship with Perez. Okay? Now, obviously, whatever Punk and AJ Lee want to do in their private life is just that. It's their private life. Do I think that there's anything to it? I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. But it was Becky Lynch exposing the fact that Punk is not a perfect human being and there are some flaws in his life. It also takes away the focus of Punk calling out Lynch and Lynch taking things up a notch. Okay, that's what that is. We don't know what goes on in Punk's life. We don't know. Probably shouldn't even care. But the fact that Becky Lynch had the balls enough to do it is outstanding. Because the way that pro wrestling, in my opinion, should be is how can we take scripted, planned things of work, and how can we bring real life into it, and how can we merge that in the middle and make you believe, well, I think that was supposed to happen, but I'm not for sure. Or I think she shouldn't have said that, but I'm not for sure. Right? Because anyone can go out there and go, AJ or Becky Lynch saying, "Well, I know that Punk cheats on his wife." Well, if she comes out there and says that, well, it'll get an initial pop. At the end of the day, most people will go, "Oh, okay, so what? Where's this going? Like, what's your point? Why are you bringing this up?" But if she can do it and it gets you to talk of, look at CM Punk. He allegedly cheats on his wife, but Seth Rollins, he is a family man. He has a daughter. He respects his wife, and that's why he's better. And this is why Punk is a fraud. Well, then you can turn that into a storyline. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that Punk cheats on his wife. I don't know. You don't know. And I don't care. But the fact that you can pull it into the storyline, or you can pull in the ideology of that into the storyline and furthering the storyline with two fictional characters. Because if you didn't know, CM Punk is not CM Punk. Phil Brooks is CM Punk. And Kobe Lopez is actually Seth Rollins. And Rebecca Quinn is actually Becky Lynch, right? Like, we're talking about fictional characters here. That is the art of pro wrestling. And that is what Becky Lynch was getting at. And that is what Becky Lynch exposed Punk as, right? You have to be able to just tweak things just a little to go and make people go, well, I know all this else is scripted and planned, but is that real? That's the art of pro wrestling. How do you mix a work and a shoot, put it together, and make it an angle? That is pro wrestling in my mind. It's not these over-the-top characters. Like, if you look at Seth Rollins, in my opinion, and I think Kevin Nash said this recently on his podcast, if you take Seth Rollins before The Fiend, amazing character. He either made you absolutely love him or absolutely hate him. And then we gone through this wacky storyline where he's this over-the-top character with these outrageous outfits. And at the end of the day, everybody just wants the mixture of Kobe Lopez and Seth Rollins. And Becky Lynch, when she came back from her hiatus in 2022, she was this over-the-top character, big-time Bex, and no one wanted that. They just wanted Becky Lynch. They just wanted her true personality, and it raised up a few decimal levels. That's what we wanted. That is the art of pro wrestling, in my opinion, and I hope we get more of that in WWE.